We're back at my flat today shooting some cosmetics, and the product we're going to be shooting is this Lunar Sleeping Night Oil by Sunday Riley. It's quite a cool bottle. I just really like the fact that it's kind of like got blue hues at the bottom. It's got a gold kind of like lid there and a white pipette. In my previous upload, I broke down how I shot this image of beer pouring, and in that video I said that I would aim to do one product portfolio worthy shoot a month. But since doing that video, since uploading that video and, you know, taking that image, I've just been really pumped to shoot more and more products and add more and more to the portfolio. I bought an Optical Snoot from Pixel Pro a while back, and I've used it with my aperture lights previously on a shoot with Creme de la Cakes where we faked some window frame light on the background. But I really want to push it to its limits. I want to create some harsh lines, harsh shadows, and I'm thinking with this little product here, we can try and create that. For something like this, I'd usually be sourcing backgrounds online or from specific companies, but because it was quite a last minute decision to shoot today, I just didn't have time. And usually where I'd go to a tile shop or something to, you know, source those backgrounds, I can't because COVID has shut everything down, so I have to try and be a bit more creative of what I can use in the flat. Luckily though, I do have these nest of tables from Wayfair. They're actually just a piece of MDF that are being wrapped in this marble effect, but I'm hoping with this product against this, it could look quite cool. So yeah, I'm gonna try and make a cool background on the table here with the nest of tables. So let's see how I get on. I need an assistant to constantly be here whenever I'm doing these kinds of shoots, but I finished, just taking a little bit longer than I anticipated again. There was a lot of faffing, a lot of minor adjustments, and trying to get this in the right position, the nest of tables in the right position, proved to be quite difficult because it was so hard to be, you know, moving them, checking it on camera, moving them again, tweaking it. It would have been a lot easier if I just had an assistant here to instruct and we could move it together. But yeah, I'm finished. Let's break everything down. That's the modeling lights on. So let's get into it. The tripod of choice is my Manfrotto carbon fiber tripod, as I use on all my photo shoots. This is the geared head for a Manfrotto as well, so I can have my R5 portrait. And then as you can see, when I scooch back here, you can see I've got two heads either side. I've got one there and one there, both going through a roll of Lee 216, and then the other light I have is this third light, and that has my Optical Snoot on it over there. And that Optical Snoot, apologies if you hear the whirring just kicking in, the fans have just kicked in because I've got the modeling lights on. That Optical Snoot is giving me this gobo effect on the background, this kind of tree branch look on the background over there. Before we get into this light, let's break down why I'm using a light on either side going through a roll of Lee 216. The reason is purely because it gives really nice catch lights on the product. So if I bring you over here, you can see on this gold cap here, on there, you can see there's a really nice soft diffused light. Now, if I expose my laptop really quickly, this is what the image looks like when I don't have any of the side lights on, the lights shining through the roll of Lee 216. This is what it looks like when I don't have them on, and you can see the product just looks a bit bland. The gold cap isn't illuminated at all, and this is what happens when I turn them on. I know the pattern has changed. I was just changing gobos and I was trying a load of different effects, but yeah, going back to the point, you can see here the gold cap is actually illuminated now. And what you can see, because I was being a perfectionist, is that in here, let's see if this will focus, in the actual gold cap, you can see there's a really hard line there. Let me put my mouse over it. This line here, there's a really hard line there, and then it goes nice and diffused. There's a black line here, which I don't mind, and then the exact same on the other side. So there's a hard line here. And the reason that's happening, the two lines on either side of the cap, is because of the table edge there and the table edge there. So to get around that, I have to do a comp shot. Now, I don't mind the edge light here, but you know, we can make it a lot better. So the way I do that is by removing the background, and this is the difference of when I take the two nested tables that are mounted on top out. So yeah, you can see they're so much nicer, so much more diffused. So for this image, I'm imagining I'm going to be doing 3 comp shots where this is the main shot. So I've got the nice kind of like, you know, gobo shadow in the background, like the kind of palm tree effect. And then what I did was I got rid of the gobo and then threw in the shutter blade attachment so I could really focus the light in on the logo here. So you see, if I flick between the previous image and this image, there's a little bit more exposure on this center logo here, just to make it pop a little bit more, make it, you know, stand out. But that's enough breakdown of what the images look like on the laptop. Let's go through the rest of the kit. So I had here my Broncolor Cirrus light with a L40 attachment on it, and you know, this was shining through the Roller Lee 216. The reason why I've got it pointed at an angle like this way rather than directly at the actual roll of diff is purely because then it creates more of a gradient. It falls off the diffusion, which then creates that effect of a really nice soft diffused light on the little shiny cap there. So coming into the back of the set, I've mounted these nested tables here with some Manfrotto friction arms, and they're just kind of super clamped in position so they don't move and they don't fall. And then it's kind of squeezing around this side. Here's the other L40 attachment on this Broncolor head shining through this roller diff, but this is kind of what's creating the nice harsh shadow look is the Pixar Pro Optical Snoot. Now this is the one with a built-in lens. I just didn't have a spare lens to throw on the EF mount Optical Snoot. So on this side of this set, all these attachments, all these kind of like gobos come with the Optical Snoot, and I used this one, which I really liked, and the one that's currently in there is more of a tree effect. And then, where have I put it? So this is the shutter angle. This is what allowed me to create that little pocket of light on the logo in that specific shot, which I'll comp in to make the logo brighter. So you can just, you know, pull it out. Whoa, it's hard to do with one hand. You can adjust it into whatever shape you kind of need it to go into and focus the light on that specific area. So here's just a front view of the kind of set we made. So you can see here I kind of decided to go with 2 different angles for the 2 smaller tables and use the bigger one as the base, so I've got more space to shoot on. That's why I need an assistant, because there's a lot of all this faffing and it's just me doing it, which is fine for portfolio stuff, but ideally I would have an assistant to speed this whole process up. It probably took about 2.5 hours. That would probably take about an hour and a half. If I had someone else helping me, I might try and rope my mum or dad in next time to give me a hand. I'm buzzing to shoot more products. I actually really enjoy shooting products. I've got a couple more that if I get the time to, I definitely will shoot. I just need to think of a kind of a concept or a creative brief for them so they have some sort of meaning. They don't just look like an image, basically. And as always, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave any questions in the comments below. Leave any suggestions for future videos, and peace.